Hi, my name is Jenna Rydh, and I had a burnout at the ripe old age of 28. It's funny because I feel like it kind of snuck up on me, but if I look back, of course, I saw all the signs. It's strange because I grew up with one goal, as many of us do, which was to be happy. It's what our parents want for us. You have one life, make the most, be happy. And there are so many ways to be happy, so many tips and tricks and advice. But I think there's one thing that unites all of us. And it's that at some point along the way, we start to form beliefs, goals, expectations of what needs to happen in our life in order to be happy. And I think you know what I mean. I need to have that dream job. I need to earn enough. I need to fall in love, get married, maybe have kids, whatever that looks like for you. I'm willing to bet that consciously or subconsciously, you've developed your own expectations and goals. But what if those goals were the exact obstacles standing in the way of what we're trying so hard to achieve? And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight, a paradox that I've personally lived and that I see time and time all around me. And I've called it the high achiever's paradox, where success and happiness do not necessarily go hand in hand. But more importantly, I want you to walk out of here thinking, that's a different way to look at it. And I want to use my story to share that with you. So let me take you back. I grew up fiercely determined. I was there to tick all the boxes and move up in the world. My husband lovingly called me a perfect pony. And I spent my university years curating the perfect CV to open as many doors as possible. And in a way it worked, because I graduated from the best hospitality school in the world, which I'm so happy to be back at tonight. And I got what many call, and I definitely considered, my dream job in marketing. And I was so proud. And I worked hard. Fast forward a few years, it was paying off. I was getting regularly promoted. I was engaged to my university boyfriend. We just bought our first apartment together. We had a cute little pug, and I was traveling all over Europe with social media to prove it. And it's safe to say that Instagram and society most definitely approved of all of my achievements. So while everything looked so perfect on the outside, it didn't feel that way inside. And actually now when I look back, I realize the better it looked on the outside, the worse it was looking on the inside. And the only way that I can describe the feeling that I had at that time was feeling like I was falling down a dark hole with nothing to hold on to. And to make things even worse, this huge sense of guilt and shame. How dare I feel this way with everything I have? What a privilege. And I agreed. And so I kept quiet, hoping things would just get better, and I kept falling. And I remember thinking at a certain point, I have to hit the bottom because I can't just keep falling. And surprisingly, that rock bottom, it came when I got my biggest promotion. The one that I had worked so hard for 5 years from the moment I'd stepped foot in that company. And I'm a marketing girl at heart, right? So I was going to be like, party, fireworks, champagne, and a permission slip to finally relax. And of course, validation for that little part in me that said, see, it was all worth it, all that hard work. And so when I got the news, I felt hollow, felt meaningless, nearly absurd. And I remember thinking, if I wanted this so badly, how come it doesn't feel better right now? And that's what I call the high achiever's paradox. The more we achieve in pursuit of happiness, the more disconnected and empty we often feel. Because if we have defined, again, consciously or subconsciously, these things that need to happen in our life in order to be happy, then we spend our life chasing that next milestone. Thinking, oh, when I get that job, then I'll be happy. Then I can relax. But it doesn't work that way. Think of a time in your life where you felt really proud. Do it. Think about it. You felt maybe on top of the world. And I want to demonstrate it for you, right? This is our level of happiness. And then that achievement happens. So think about it. Your happiness spiked, right? Which it should. Because achievement is awesome. It feels good. You should be proud of yourself. But it doesn't stay up there forever, right? It comes back down eventually. And studies actually suggest that our level of happiness, even after the biggest achievements in our life, they return to pretty much the baseline level of happiness that we had before that achievement. Why is that? I believe it's because achievement alone is about what we do. It's the external validation, right? It's the shiny job title. It's the results. It's the projects. We can measure it. We also feel like we're productive and we're in control. And then we can post about it on LinkedIn. And then everybody says, clap, 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 well done. And it feels good. Again, I am not hating on achievement. But the problem arises because there's a whole other part that we so frequently disregard. And we call that the being. And the being is who you are. It's who you are when we strip away your fancy title and all your accomplishments. It's when you step out of your big office. The being is your values. It's what matters to you. It's not about performing. It's about presence. It's not about proving yourself. It's about expressing yourself. And our society, in my opinion, is so good at the achieving. And we spend so much time and money on the achieving because we can measure it, right? And we can track it and we can move forward. But the problem is that who is teaching us the being part? We've got our master classes here, we've got our how to negotiate your next promotion, but who's telling us where to bring us into it? And that, for me, is the missing piece. When success doesn't feel as good on the inside as it looks on the outside, I believe it's because we haven't brought those two together. Now, my big aha moment came when I was being coached after my burnout, and I realized that I hadn't spent a few years, but probably most of my life, doing what I thought I should want to do. Tick, tick, tick. Instead of doing what I wanted to do. It's as if I'd been climbing this ladder with my goal at the top, right? That goal that I'd set that the day I'd walked into the company, and I said, in 5 years, I want this goal. And I climbed that ladder, I got to the top, and suddenly I look around, and I'm like, I am not leaning my ladder against the right wall. And I laugh about it. But it's painful, and it's a bit like having the carpet ripped out from under your feet. So, fulfillment doesn't come from reaching our goals. For me, there were 3 big shifts that had to happen because this realization, it didn't only change my mindset, it changed my entire life. And I'd like to share these 3 things with you in the hope that it sparks something in you. The first one is I learned how to pause and reflect. When we are so busy going from goal to goal to goal, never did I stop and say, does this goal still make sense for me? The second one was learning to align with my values. I spoke briefly about values. I had no idea what mine were. And most of us don't know what they are. And so I started a deep journey of self-discovery. Who am I really? Because my work was my life and my life was my work. And I didn't know what I really wanted or who I was or what mattered to me. And when I started to learn that and make decisions from a place of what felt good on the inside instead of what looked good on the outside, that's when things started to shift for me. And the third thing was redefining success and figuring out how does happiness play into all of this. I was following, and many of us do the same, what I call an old formula. Maybe you know it. If I just work hard enough, then I'll achieve, and then I'll be happy. Sound familiar? In this formula, happiness and joy is the reward. And I looked at that and I thought, instead of happiness and joy being the reward, what if that became the fuel? What if we spent all that hard work actually on ourselves and making ourselves happy now? And by that I mean figuring out our values, knowing who we really are when we strip away all the doing, right? Because when we are our happiest selves, when we are happy today, we show up as our best selves. In all parts of our life, we are more collaborative, more creative, more efficient, kinder, more patient, smarter. And when we bring that best self into the office, into our work, then we work better. And when we work better, we achieve more. And studies actually suggest that this is a more sustainable approach to combining success and happiness when we focus our attention and our effort and our energy on being happy today, not in the future. So for me, that meant leaving a job, but it doesn't have to look so dramatic for you. Sometimes it's simply about tweaking and adapting and just changing course a little bit. But for me, it meant regaining my health. I managed to get pregnant and I launched a business doing something that I absolutely love. So if you find yourself on a treadmill and you're feeling it so fast you can't get off, or maybe you're jumping from goal to goal to goal, and you're thinking like I did, why doesn't this feel as good as it should? Please know that it's not your fault. You're probably following an old script. And the good news is that you get to write a new script starting today. One where success and happiness are aligned. One where your success feels just as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. Because you are not here to tick boxes. And you are not here to live a life that is successful by somebody else's standards. And you are most definitely not here to burn yourself out proving your worth. We are here to live lives that are meaningful to us, while achieving our wildest and boldest goals So the next time you're chasing a goal, dare to ask yourself, is this what I really want? Or is this what I've been trained to want? Because that magical happiness, it is not waiting for you at the finish line. It's waiting for you right here, the moment that you choose to align your goals and your truth. Thank you.